Okay, so if you're watching this video, it probably means that you've done everything else for the database. You have managed to create a table, you put your information into the table, your data, you've made queries on that data, and you made reports on those, and you've also made a user entry form, so something like this, to enter data into the database or allow the user to enter the data a lot more easily. So the last thing we're going to look at is this here, which is what we call a main menu. So it's a slightly different type of form. Now the main menu gives you buttons, and when you click on those buttons, okay, they go to different sections. That's my that was my form. I've got one for running queries, and I've got a button for running my reports. So that's what we can do. We can make a nice main menu. So to do that, we click on the Create menu. So if you might be on Home, click on Create, and we go to a blank form. We just want a blank form with nothing on it. Now, it's quite hard to edit in this view, so we have to go to the top left-hand corner, click the down arrow, and we make it Design View. So on Design View, I can move things around and edit things. So we'll start with the color. So to change the background color, we click on this Details section. We go to Format, and then we can choose our color up here from the sort of fill tool. So let's have a green, for instance. I'm going to put my title in. I'm going to go back to Design. Third one in is a label, so I'll click that and I'll draw my label on, and I'm going to call this Movies. If I select it, I can click on Format, and under Format I've got my colours and my styles up here, so I can change the colour of my writing. Let's have it sort of whitishy blue, make it bold, or change the writing style, and we'll make the writing bigger. That's really big. Let's go to there and center it. So we've got our title. The next stage is then to start putting our buttons on. All the buttons work the same in that you draw them out the same, but there's a few different options for the different sections. So the first one we're going to have is our entry form. Because we have our entry form, and you can view the records on that, we don't really need a link to the table. We just need it to the form. So I'm going to click on the button, which under Design is the fourth one along. I'm going to draw a button on, and it will pop up with a new little window. We've got lots of options. We've got main category sections, and we've got subsections. So I want to open a form for the user to enter the data into. So I'm going to go Form Operations. I'm going to click Open Form. Okay, next, I'm going to choose my form. Now I've already created a main menu. You probably won't have, but my FRM Movies is my form. Open the form and show all records. That's fine. You can put a picture on there if you want a picture on the button. And if you click the Show All Pictures, there's lots of different pictures. I prefer text, so I'm going to put text that says Next, don't worry about this one, just click Finish. And now I've got my button. I can make my button bigger by using the tabs around the side. Okay, so I can do that. I can click off it and click and hold and drag to move it. If I'm on it and I try to click again, it will try and change the text that's on it. So if we go up here to the form view, that's what it's going to look like. And if I click this button, there we go, enter a new movie, we've got our form for entering. So I'm going to click this and go back to Design View. So next we want our queries. I'll show you one query. So we'll get a button again, exactly the same thing. We draw our shape. This time we're going to go down to Miscellaneous. There are options for forms, records, and reports, but there's not one for queries specifically. But we click miscellaneous, we've got a run query on this right hand side. So let's select that. Next, I'll choose the second query. You should really do buttons for all of your queries, so you'll have more buttons than I have. So we'll click next. Again, I'm going to put text in, and I'm going to put view movies of 100. Again, ignore that section. And I get another button. You will notice it's a slightly different size. The easiest way to get the right size is to line these up, the edges, and then drag in. And then I usually pull it round to the top, line it up, and drag down. And then I like mine, for some reason, in a sort of column going down. You might have yours running across. So now we've done that. Go to the design view again, to the form view. I'll click on this one, and there's my query that's running. So again, we'll go back to top right hand corner. We'll click on design view. It's quite easy to flick between the two different views. So the last button we need is for a report. So I'm going to get a button again. I'm going to highlight a square for my button. Now we're going to do where we want to report. So we're going to click on report operations. Now this is really important. What you have to click on is preview report. If you open report, it opens in a bit of a funny way. Mail reports for emailing, printing is for printing, and send report to file is for saving it to your computer. Preview report will show the report on the screen. So go next. I've got my report there. Again, the text. So I'm going to put report for 2000 and you for 12. But they have to be descriptive enough, these buttons, that someone will know what they're for. So again, next, finish exactly the same as before. I'm not going to resize mine to the right size, but there is something like that. And when you go back to my form view, I click on the report, and my report comes up. If I want to save my form, I click on save, and the prefix, the bit at the start for forms, is FRM underscore whatever you want to call the form. So once you've done that, you can save it, and then you'll have a form that hopefully looks something in this sort of style with the buttons that go to your different sections of your database. The next thing you can do, which is quite good, is if we go to File and you scroll down to Options. There's ones down the side. I'm going to click on Current Database, and what you can do here is it says Display Form. So if I do the drop down menu and I go to my form main menu, what that means, display form, it actually means when the database opens, what form is going to be opened at the same time. So if I click that and I go OK, and it'll say you must close and reopen it. So I'm going to close my database. I'm not going to save my other form. I'm going to go back to here. J5, we're going to create in databases. Here's my movies database. And when I double click on that, it comes up with access, and what you will see is that the form that has opened, it's doing something a bit silly there. The form is opened, and it's my movies database main menu form. So that's the next stage. The next stage is to finish off your database by making a menu with buttons that go to all of your queries and your user entry forms and your reports, and then setting it up so that it opens automatically to make a nice little hub and an easy access to everything on your database.